Hey guys, it's Caitlin and welcome to another video. This video is going to be a breakfast chat sort of thing. If you guys have been following me for a while, you'll know I do these every once in a while where it's sort of an unedited cut where I'm just sharing my thoughts with you guys, and I encourage you guys to join in on the conversation in the comments below, and then that way our community can connect with each other. And yeah, it's just more of a realistic, I guess, video versus my standard edited videos, and I get to share my thoughts and opinions with you guys, so you know, that's always fun. But as you guys have known, I usually call them breakfast chats because I normally eat breakfast while I'm doing it. But in my last video, I got a lot of complaints from people who didn't like eating sounds. And I know that it's my right to put whatever I want on my channel. But at the same time, I don't want to like offend people, and I still want them to hear what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to try to do this one a little differently. You guys can let me know in the comments below what you prefer. So today, instead of eating food, I made myself a cup of tea. This is my favorite mug of tea, favorite type of tea. It's the Rishi Turmeric Ginger. I also really like this mug. My friend Jasmine, or Sweet Simple Vegan, got it for me, so thanks, bae. But yeah, so I'm just gonna try drinking this tea. And this isn't the topic for the video, but I still wanted to ask you guys because now I feel like I have a moral dilemma because it's not technically a breakfast chat because I'm not eating breakfast, and then I guess feel weird calling it a breakfast chat. So I was thinking maybe renaming these just like chats with Caitlin or something, so that way, you know, I still got my alliteration or whatever that's called, and then that way they can just be more informal and I can still talk with you guys, but I don't have to eat because I know not everyone likes that. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. And I'm just gonna drink my tea. Are drinking noises gonna offend people too? Maybe. You know what? You can't win them all. But yeah, so this is more of a longer format video, so if you guys want to grab a meal you can eat, or if you just want to like play this while you're doing your makeup or getting ready in the morning or something and do it that way, that works too. So today's topic, I wanted to talk about something else kind of related to food. I feel like that's kind of been the theme of my last few videos, but I wanted to talk about the concept of quote-unquote clean eating and why that term has always pissed me off and why I have never used that term, because I think it is complete BS, and I don't know, it's just one of those things that really bothers me. Another thing that really bothers me, I don't know why, is when people use the word brekkie for breakfast, and I know that's more of a common thing outside of the United States, but I just like, just looking at that word, seeing those two K's next to each other, I'm just like, ugh, I don't know why, guys. I just don't really like it. I just always say breakfast. No brekkie for me. Anyways, I'm getting very off topic. I apologize. But I wanted to talk about the concept of clean eating. And if you guys have an Instagram account or I guess even on YouTube here is kind of prevalent, I just feel like it's kind of popped up, the term clean eating, within the last few years or so. I think when I first started college, and you know, along with the health and wellness trend, people start to use the term clean eating. And I guess from my experience, my definition of clean eating, or I see people use the term to describe healthier foods, or yeah, just healthier foods or foods that that person thinks are healthy. But personally, I just think the word clean should not be associated with food unless you're talking about you just washed your food in the sink and now it is clean and before it was dirty. Like, clean is not an adjective that I would ever use to describe my food. I think if you think your food is healthier or maybe has more nutrient benefits to it, there are a plethora of other words that you can use to describe it in a positive manner instead of using the word clean. So when I first even came across the word clean, I always just thought it was kind of strange, and I personally never used it. Like, I would use the word healthy to describe my food, or maybe like nourishing or wholesome or things like that. Tea break. But the word clean, I don't know. It just has always bothered me because I'm like, well, duh, my food is clean. It's not like I'm sprinkling some dirt and pebbles on top of my Buddha bowl and it's dirty. Like, everyone's food is clean unless you're eating in a restaurant that is violating health code things and might give you E. coli or I don't know, some other pathogen disease. And also the issue that I have with using the word clean, and a few other people have talked about this, so this concept is not like novel to my brain. I've listened to a few different podcasts covering the topic, but when you think of the word clean, I feel like you also automatically think of the word dirty, just like, I don't know, black and white. It's just like word pairs. Like the opposite of clean would be dirty. So when you're using the word clean to describe your food, I also feel like it's implying that if someone doesn't eat the way that you eat, then their food is dirty. And that kind of gets into the realm of food shaming and like judging other people based off of what they eat. And personally, I'm not a fan of that. I kind of discussed food shaming in my last video, in which I talked about like what I eat in a day videos and how realistic they really are. But everyone has a right to eat whatever the heck they want. Like, even as a vegan, I'm saying this, like, every person has free will. So they have the right to eat meat if they want, or eat dairy if they want. And I'm not saying that I necessarily agree with that, and I hope that everyone would, you know, do their own research the ethics and like the health benefits of veganism, and hopefully transition to a plant-based vegan diet. But at the end of the day, I just don't think that I'm in a position to judge anyone for what they put on their plate, because I guess my approach to veganism and activism and just encouraging people to be healthier in general would never come from a place of judgment. Like, I would never want to think that I am better than somebody else because I eat a certain way. I think that's kind of the root cause or the root issue with a lot of people. It's like when you come at someone with the, I guess, feeling that you're better than someone else, they can totally interpret that, and that's just going to rub them the wrong way. Like, no one has ever come up to me trying to convince me to do something with an attitude of, I'm better than you, so you need to do what I'm doing, and then I did it. Like, I think it's just so much better to come at someone from like a place of compassion or understanding, or just like a level playing field. Like, you don't have to be like, I'm worse because I eat vegan food, because that's not true either. It's just like, hey, this is what I put on my plate and I think it's awesome, and I want to show you why it's awesome, and maybe you can try it out as well. Like, I never want to appear like I'm better than someone else, I guess, because I don't think I am. Like, we're all at different points in our lives, and you know, you really should not be judging someone based off of what they eat. And I feel like that this sort of judgment even exists like within different health sectors of the community. Like, people who are paleo would use the word clean to describe their food, and then they might look at like a bowl of rice and beans and like corn that I'm eating, and they'd be like, oh my gosh, I would never put that in my body. So as you can see, like, everyone has their own interpretations of what is clean and what is not. And I just like, honestly, that word bothers me so much, and I hate when people use it in recipes, because it's like implying that their food is better or healthier for you than some other food. And I'm not saying that it may not be healthier, but I also feel like you can just say the word, hey, this is some healthy banana bread. You don't have to say it's clean banana bread, because then that kind of makes the person who isn't making a recipe or is eating another type of banana bread like feel guilty, because they're like, oh, is my banana bread bad? Like, is my banana bread dirty? And like I said before, unless you're sprinkling some like sand or sediment on it, it's not dirty. Unless you're eating mold, it's not really dirty. And even then, I don't think it'd be dirty. I think it would be moldy. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are as well, and if this has ever bothered any of you, because it's kind of always been an issue that I have thought of, but I've never really expressed my thoughts about it. I've just kind of been like, I hate the word clean. I'm never going to use it. And even with the word like healthy, like, those words can mean something completely different for different people, and everyone has the right, like I said, to put whatever they want to put in their body. And I really just don't think it's our place to judge other people based on like what they want to eat, you know? And even like people who are raw vegans and they're like, oh, my food is clean and it's like healthy and good for me, and I don't know, sometimes you get the impression that it's like better than your food, and I think that's kind of the root, or not like a root, but I think it can be a contributing factor to disordered relationships with eating food. And I definitely used to have a mindset like that in the past, where I would be like, oh, well, I only want to eat food that's healthy and food that's good for me. But health is also such a multifaceted term. It's not just about the food you put on your plate. It's about your stress levels, how you live your lifestyle, how much sleep you're getting, your interactions with other people, what you're putting on your body, and like things like that. You know, there is a million different ways that you can be healthy, and there's also probably a million different ways in which each individual person can be healthy. So what is healthy for me may not be necessarily healthy for you, if that makes sense. So for example, like women generally need to eat foods that are higher in fat than men. Like men can go by on a lower fat diet and they won't experience like hormonal issues or health problems. But that being said, like a man can live a perfectly healthy diet and be eating something completely different from a woman, or even like two different women. Like maybe one person has a gluten intolerance and they can't eat gluten, so a gluten-free diet is a healthy diet for them. But on the other hand, maybe someone has an eating disorder and they have seen other people post about gluten-free diets and how like gluten-free food is clean, and so then they think that they can't eat gluten because if they eat gluten they're unhealthy, when in reality their body can totally process gluten and it's totally fine for them to eat it. So what may seem like a healthy relationship with food or a healthy diet or a quote-unquote clean diet may not actually be that way if that person is coming like towards it or eating it because of the wrong intentions. And honestly, at the end of the day, I feel like the underlying message through all of this is that you have to do what's best for you, and you shouldn't base your diet off of someone else just because you like the way they look or you like what they're saying about it. You need to listen to your body and like really pay attention. Like, oh, is eating too much processed sugar and chips like making me feel kind of lethargic and sluggish? Maybe I should cut that down a little, but that doesn't mean you totally have to cut it out of your life either, because I do think like a healthy relationship with food involves listening to your body's cravings. Like every once in a while, if I go out to eat at a restaurant and I'm like, ooh, they have like a chocolate lava cake, that sounds good. Is it the healthiest thing I can be putting in my body? No, but am I going to enjoy it on like a emotional level? Like it's soul food, okay? I would totally enjoy it, and I don't think you should be having second thoughts about that. But when you start to put food into categories like clean foods and dirty foods, that's when I think you start to develop a disordered relationship with food, because all food is just food. And at the end of the day, while we do enjoy certain tastes and stuff, we really, I don't know, I feel like I'm getting lost in my train of thought. But basically, I don't know, I'm just getting a little tired of seeing other people judge other people's foods, and I'm just like, why can't we just all do our own things and peacefully coexist? And just because you're happy with what you are doing doesn't mean you have to judge someone because they're doing something differently. I feel like we should all be more supportive of each other. And yeah, I don't know. I also just feel like the like diet culture around social media, like if you have a healthy food account, I've mentioned this earlier, like you may not post the junk food that you eat, but then this also influences other people to think that you never eat junk food. So if you're like constantly posting about clean foods and my clean eating, it's just like, I don't know, maybe people think that you only eat those foods. And like I said, when I was in college, I definitely went through a time where I only ate those foods, and I was definitely scared, I guess, of indulging in other foods because I was like, oh, this is bad for me. I'll gain weight, I'm gonna get fat or whatever. But realistically, sometimes you just gotta enjoy the moment and eat that piece of vegan cake, It's not gonna kill you. But I don't know if you guys have had similar experiences to that. I feel like a lot of people who follow me have sort of come from similar backgrounds as me, so maybe they also feel the same way. But I'm just like, totally against the clean eating term. It's just, can we all just get rid of it? I feel like there are so many better adjectives we could use. We could all expand our vocabulary. Instead of describing our food as clean, we can just say, hey, it's a delicious banana bread that happens to be good for you. Or just not even use clean at all and just move on with our lives. I don't know. This is getting very rambly, but I think I made the majority of the points that I wanted to make, and I drank a decent amount of my tea, I guess. You guys are always like, how can you eat, or how can you talk to us and then not eat your food? But I feel like there are a million things going on in my mind when I film these. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm talking to the camera, but like, I don't know, I just don't even think about my food because I'm focused on like talking to you guys and what I'm going to say next and making sure I don't stumble over my words, which is inevitable. I always stumble over my words. So then I end up like kind of forgetting that I'm even holding this. So maybe it will work better with beverages. We could also mix the beverages. We'll see how many people comment saying they don't like them. But yeah. Okay, this is definitely getting incredibly rambly, and I think I'm just going to end the video now, but I wanted to film this one to just kind of get that feeling off my chest and to let you guys know that please don't categorize foods based on whether they're clean or dirty. Like, that's just saying, I don't, just coming from experience, like that was such a hard thing for me to get out of. And now that I've kind of realized how silly that sounds and how ridiculous it is, I just feel so much more free eating my food. And like, there's definitely freedom in ditching that stupid clean label, because you don't need to make yourself feel guilty for going out with your friends and eating some food at a restaurant and having a good time while you're there, you know? There's so much more to life than exactly what you're putting into your body. And while the food you put on your plate is an important factor to your health, like there is also so much more that goes into it. And stressing yourself out by categorizing foods and telling yourself you're only allowed to eat a certain amount of unhealthy food like every day or every week is definitely not helping you to be a healthier person, because that's also causing additional stress, you know? So at the end of the day, love yourself. Don't categorize foods and like make yourself feel guilty about eating certain foods. And also don't do that to other people. Like, I think that it can be easy for us to follow what other people are posting on Instagram and being like, I'm so happy with my healthy diet. And there is a way to say that is inclusive of all people, but I feel like sometimes we just all go a little bit astray and we start to imply that if you're not eating the exact same way as me, you're doing something wrong and you should feel bad about it, which is not necessarily true. And yes, I'm now done on that topic. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm being really weird in this video, but if you guys have any future suggestions, I think I'm going to be filming these more casual videos about once a month, so let me know in the comments below what you want me to talk about next. And then now I'm going to finish my tea and go eat my actual breakfast, and I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day and that you enjoyed this video. I will talk to you later. Bye!